Fissure. They're going to ban him out as well.
And they actually take care of the puck themselves. I thought that would be a good hero for CoL heading to the next phase. I mean, we just saw that combo from Liquid, but it's a good combo for a reason, right? It works very well together. Just to finish with the AA and like the CK and the Sven and everything, the problem with that with Secret is that you can't ban those heroes because you have all these other stupid cheese things you want to ban out, like the Broodmother, sometimes the Meepo. I think Arc Warden is still going to be a concern too.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what they want to do. They have to reveal something now for Secret. Or sorry, no, they have the ban, and then Complexity will be the ones to just reveal their 5, but then that's when Secret will have to bring out a core here.
Yep. Yeah, Earthshaker AA not particularly telling. It's the Disruptor for Complexity. So some more great team fight. Good catch. Also synergizes very well with the Gyrocopter. He wants to be up in your face, and Disruptor is so good at enabling that.
Yeah, probably the best 5 right now, too. Overall, in terms of like most games, look the most impressive in terms of like getting stuff done. You can say that Bane is very stable, and that's why he gets banned out early. He takes away a lot of offlaners. And Rubik, of course, has been played in the 5 quite a bit to great success as well. But in terms of like most games lately, largest games played versus like success ratio of just like that hero himself, Disruptor's looked very strong.
Yeah, he's in that weird picking couplet of he's like not scary enough to ban, but still good enough that you want to pick him up early. So you actually see him played a lot more.
He has survived past his Naga phase. That was pretty much why he was getting picked, right? Is just to like do the song setup and everything. But everyone's like, you know, this hero's actually pretty good. Maybe a lot of those CIS teams were actually onto something. And oh, look who it is. We picked AA, and now you can't pick it versus our Death Prophet. Who would have thought?
There you go. Great team fight for Secret. Now they've got a great AoE silence, some AoE stuns. The beginnings of some good team fight, and you talked about this pick earlier. It's the Nature's Prophet now from Moo.
So that'll be, yeah, we've seen the flexibility where they can give it to Moo or they can give it to Z-Freak, but with this setup, it should likely be Moo's.
Yeah, that's a fair point, but
10 seconds.
Be very surprised to see Z-Freak take it here.
Why is NP good here? They're balling up with Shaker and AA. Both supports that want to kind of like linger around when the DP's looking to approach a tower. Shaker's looking for important fissures early on, and then the Blink Daggers. AA wants to be lined up for a nice Ice Blast. Doesn't want to be too far away because the hero likes to be way more active now. You don't want to just be like on a side lane. So Prophet can like, while they're trying to set up this perfect push, and Secret are kind of posturing at the tower, Nature's Prophet can abuse the other side of the map during all of that. He can be pushing in other lanes. He can take other towers.
It's good for split pushing, and I also think that mid-game team fight, having a 4th global hero that can just join any skirmish can give you so much an advantage in the laning phase. You know, you have a tri-lane on tri-lane, it's pretty even. All of a sudden, that Prophet is there in the back line, beating on your Ancient Apparition, and you can turn the fight. I think it just fits the play style that Complexity likes to go for with early momentum, early aggression. Definitely fits the draft they've got going on here.
Yep, nice vision for the Disruptor too. Just like he can either TP ahead or he can just use Trinks.
Yeah, you're right. Disruptor, all about the vision for those kind of glimpses. I think this is sort of a snowball-y lineup for Complexity, but those are the kind of lineups where Disruptor can tend to really shine. He plays so much better from ahead than from behind. Just the nature of glimpse and all that kind of stuff. That's Secret. Minimal time left. Delving deep into the reserve, trying to decide what next core they want to grab. And they've made a decision. It's the CK. So you mentioned this combo, CK Ancient Apparition. Of course, a lot of synergy with Reality Rift on top of Cold Feet. The slows from an Ancient Apparition. CK has a lot of problems closing gaps. When that Reality Rift is on cooldown or he doesn't have a stun available, an Ancient Apparition, Earthshaker, 2 pretty much ideal supports to fix the woes of the Chaos Knight.
CK is my favorite pairing with AA.
And also, you have the Earthshaker, so you don't have to worry about that potential counter pick coming in later.
That's true. That's a nicely crafted draft in that sense as well, but AA doesn't mind if a game goes late. You're happy to be AA. You're percent-based. That's great.
And especially now, his level 25 talent just got buffed also.
Dude, that thing's crazy. Have you seen the AoE on that thing? I don't know. I gotta try that one out, but
you're right. In terms of scaling supports, AA is pretty high up there.
So they'll remove the Omni Knight. Would have been a great option left for the DP as well as the CK, honestly, just to enable them a little bit in that mid game. But pretty much all offlaners are open for FATA here. There's Underlord's there. The Puck being gone, the Beastmaster's gone.
Underlord could be really good here, actually. A nice beefy frontliner, great initiator.
5 seconds remaining.
How are Complexity going to lane against the CK? They're going to have to probably fight into his lane as much as possible with the Gyro, the ET, and the Disruptor.
You think they'll aggro try?
Yeah, they'll probably try and match whatever CK does. But like, what if they just do a dual offlane with like the AA and the CK or something?
A little tough to read how Secret want to set up these lanes. Secret do ban out the Sven with their 6th.
So there is some concern in terms of like who you're gonna lane versus the Nature's Prophet, right? Because he can't lane against CKAA, he'll just die. They'll just kill the Prophet over and over. So then you assume that they're gonna want dodge, and then so who are you gonna put in this 1v1 versus the Prophet that's still gonna give you an advantage? And it will be the Underlord.
All right. I think it just fits this draft perfectly. Synergizes well with the Cold Feet from Ancient Apparition. Both CK and Death Prophet have a little bit of trouble closing gaps, and Underlord is really, really good at that.
So we saw it as the default pick. It's kind of the first one that came to mind in terms of all these offlaners that are left. So do Complexity have a plan for it? Are they thinking of a different safe laner? Are they going to try someone like something crazy, like an Ursa or something, and then put the Gyrocopter mid?
They could.
But then if you go Ursa, of course, you have no AoE or something. It's like a CK and everything, but he does very well in terms of like the earliest laning phase versus like Underlord and CK and DP and all this stuff. You can just blow these people up, but not really a Complexity special or anything like that. So I do like the Sven ban. Obviously, he tends to be our little counter pick there. The OD is kind of tempting, just because like the save and everything. It looks all right.
I could be okay with the OD. I'm really struggling here though, Trent. Is there an ideal pick left against the Chaos Knight?
In terms of team fight, they have that pretty well rounded out. They have split push, obviously, with the Nature's Prophet. They are lacking a little bit in the physical damage, you could say.
Yeah, I mean, Gyro, Prophet have pretty decent physical damage, but you know, compared to someone like a Sven added onto this lineup, it could be a lot more physical damage.
Having another initiator that Sven actually would have been so good. Because if he could just jump in and put on that stun, that gives something for ET to follow up and Gyrocopter to follow up, and then Prophet. Whenever you have Prophet in the offlane, you really want either a position.
Timbersaw? Could this be a Timbersaw game in some kind of a core role?
Ooh, it definitely matches up well against the CK and the Underlord.
4 strength heroes. Somebody who's pretty beefy. They do have Death Prophet. That's silence. They have a lot of control.
He has
a lot of ways to deal with them.
With the root, though, yeah. The silence, the root, the AA just helping to actually force him down. But
what about Wraith King? Is that another one? The second life, you know, you come back, survive that burst.
He is lacking a lot in terms of AoE. And we will get that from a Pugna.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. So very high speed. Fast game, Complexity Dota, kind of a classic here.
Huge amounts of push. All of a sudden you go from a team that, okay, you've got the Prophet, that's nice, you can punish team fights, to, oh my, if they win a team fight, they're taking some towers and objectives. So I do like the Pugna from that regard. It is going to be a Moo Pugna, and Chessie is the one that picks up the Nature's Prophet with Limp grabbing the Gyrocopter. So it looks like it will be that mid-Prophet.
The old Limp Gyro. He was one of the first people who would max the homing missile. Back before it was...
or is it mid-gyro with a safe lane Prophet? There's a lot of flexibility for Complexity here.
That's what it should be.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see who they match up on those side lanes in terms of like the Pugna and the Prophet. Like who's going to be going where? We're going to be jumping back and forth. Prophet maybe will just hop into some of these battles really early on. Right. I think you just want to punish this CK. That is who I would want to just like get this guy out of my game, you know? He's
one of the scariest heroes to just say, oh, we're just going to sack the lane. Don't worry, I'm going to farm the jungle. You do not want to let CK free farm because he really is all about momentum. A little similar to the Bristleback in that sense, where not the best flash farmer. So
yeah, he farms even worse than Bristleback.
Yeah, so like, stacks for CK are kind of like, well, how do I kill these now? You know, I need some help. So he has to get either those early kills or that early farm, or else his mid game is really not so fun. Hero that plays very, very much around intimidation.
So if Complexity are going to win this game, it has to be more of this like early. They want to get as much done with the Pugna as possible. That's our game plan. If Secret want to win this game, it seems a little bit more relaxed. I don't feel like there's a lot of pressure on them.
I think Secret definitely has the ease of execution advantage. Yeah. You know, like they've got very straightforward team fight heroes, and really all they have to do are just take okay engagements, and it feels like their team fight is a lot more straightforward. But here we go, boys and girls. Secret versus Complexity, our second game of 8 for the day. I'm Zyori, he's Trent Pax, and it is an absolute pleasure to be here.
So many best ones. I can't wait to just kick back and watch Dota all day after this, honestly.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm a little sad I don't get to cast some of those games, especially that C matchup, as you were mentioning.
Yeah, Mineski TNC. It's going to be a big one. Okay, so Secret, the favorites coming in here. We'll see what Complexity can do. This is the Swiss group stage, as Trent mentioned, all best of ones. Initial wards coming down in the lanes.
Trying to figure out where everyone's going.
Yep, no invasions yet.
No one knows anything. hang out mid, so it... I think if I'm Complexity, I'm going to assume CK goes top. That's just been like the standard Radiant thing. It feels pretty safe in this off lane. That's where I would probably start my CK and my AA. We'll see if that ends up being true.
Yeah. It does seem like a relatively safe assumption. FATA on the Underlord, also hanging out up here, but could always just farm away in that safe lane. Pugna versus Underlord, kind of an odd matchup, but if it ends up being that 1v1, who comes out ahead in that?
They both farm. One of those.
It's one of those.
I'm
Nobody
sure.
can kill each other, and they just farm, and it's a nice boring lane. Well,
yeah, lots of excitement.
Bounty runes coming out, and it looks like Complexity actually going to pick up 3 of the 4. So Puppey grabs 1. The others do go the way of Complexity, as Moo actually grabs 2.
So yeah, we will have the old NP mid. Not a common thing, but someone who can bully quite a few mid laners. People used to talk about, like, in terms of the only hero that can beat Razor laning, it's often referred to as just Nature's Prophet. Those treants hit so hard, you can only static link one of you 3. So you just keep bullying him.
Yeah.
And NP's going to suffer a similar fate. Or, sorry, rather, DP will suffer a similar fate mid.
Yeah, we'll see. The Crypt Swarm is a little bit of a game changer, though, for mid 1. Gives him that ability to still control the lane pretty well. But we'll see how it transpires. Looks like down bottom there was a pull that happened, so they got the creeps back. Moo able to get this free set of experience here with this creep wave. Pretty common stuff that we're seeing from offlaners these days, but it makes all the difference in the world to get that early momentum.
Yeah, you can see that... oh, Puppey missed the block, too.
Oh.
So, like, Zephyr came down, and he put the sentry ward down, because he wanted to make sure they weren't blocking this camp, because he wants it available for him with the Astral. And then Puppey, I'm pretty sure, was trying to body block the camp, but he just didn't get there quite in time. So now that hard camp will spawn. He blocks the small camp instead, as he was walking through that at the time.
All right, down bottom, Puppey versus Z-Freak. This Elder Titan, such an annoying hero to go up against in this kind of a scenario. Hits so hard in these early levels. All right, farm we will. Checking in on the mid lane. It's pretty even so far. I'm actually curious to see who starts to get more of an edge as the experience comes out. But I'm actually pretty confident in the Death Prophet in this matchup, Trent.
Well, one problem will definitely be the Prophet. If he rotates out, there's certainly the whole issue of DP just hitting your tower, right? That's what the hero likes to do if the enemy mid just leaves.
That's actually a good point. Yeah, the offlane Prophet, you're not too upset if he TPs out to find kills elsewhere, but in your mid lane, there's a huge opportunity cost associated with that. And in some situations, maybe you rotate and you do get that kill for the gank, but letting DP free farm for even, you know, two full creep waves can be maybe devastating isn't the word, but I think you see what I'm getting at.
You'll probably see Complexity supports just soak it up. They'll go mid. They'll be happy about the situation.
That's true.
Jesse leaves, so shouldn't be too big of a deal. And overall, there's no pressure on the CK, so I think this is a very good start to the game for Secret.
Yeah, Pugna just hanging out in the lanes, so trying to find some last hits, and last hitting pretty well in this 1v2 as the Elder Titan comes back. They are slowing down Ace a little bit. The Gyro is getting slightly better farm. Down bottom, we will see that initiation. Moo in some trouble. The cold feet come out, and there's that classic combo, the first blood, drawn by Puppey. Ace now heading back to the tower. Z-Freak not going to be able to find a counter kill. It's a good start for Secret in the bottom lane. Yeah,
he just can't do anything level 1. Level 2, there will be options for Z-Freak. They only have 1 stun between the two of them. So, I mean, unless you're going to throw like the cold feet on the ET or something, and then just the Chaos Bolt on the Pugna and try and get a kill like that. But Pugna can delay the kill for so long that there's no way that's going to work, because he can just use the decreps. So, level 2 on ET going to be very important. And stacking this camp again from Z-Freak, he knows the key to this matchup is making sure there's as many creeps as possible for him to get that spirit on. And he's just going to try and bully the CK.
Yeah. No doubt about it. The decrep from the Pugna is so obnoxious in the laning stage like this. Now you think of Pugna, oh, he's fast, he does a lot of damage, but just decrepping so that Ace can't auto-attack to get those last hits has really slowed down his farm. CK 9-1 right now compared to the 15-5 Gyrocopter, who is basically free farming up top.
Yeah, and you can see mid 1 making the adjustment mid, going for the 2-0-1. More common to see the earlier points in the Siphon, but you get the 2 in the Crypt Swarm versus the Nature's Prophet just in case with the Treants. But, I mean, they're tanky. They got 550 HP. These things are not that easy to just burst down, even with 0% magic resistance. Yeah. You can't really reliably just farm them up or something.
True. And as you mentioned, Prophet is starting to pull ahead. He's up by about 50% over mid 1 right now, so it's a pretty decent farm discrepancy. Also interesting to note that this has been truly a 1v1 mid matchup, which is very rare in this meta.
He almost has a 1 level advantage from all these denies, by the way. Those are not just Treant denies.
Yeah. There's still really no supports have rotated into that mid lane. Relatively quiet early game.
Man, Chessie's going to have drums before boots. he does not plan on moving. He's just hanging out mid. Just trying to slow down mid one's game, because like you think about how the denies work, like he can just bully you back with a treant when it's time for a last hit, and then he'll just go for the deny, and then you just come back in. You're like, this is getting really irritating.
Dude, he is literally a full level ahead of mid one right now. That's really impressive. Down bottom, Chaos Knight initiated on, getting very low. They're not going to be able to find the kill. Cold Feet come out the other way, and Z-Freak able to walk away from it. Ace really wanted to go back in with that Reality Rift, but would have handed a free kill over to Moo. Top lane, a lot of pressure coming on to Kyle. FATA has YapzOr behind him here on the Earthshaker. A lot of posturing in this laning phase.
Yeah, we haven't seen a whole lot top, but makes sense, right? They're both just able to shove out the wave. You got Flat Cannon, you've got the Firestorm, so waves just disappear. They come and go. Nothing really happens. Bottom, they did get a pull-off as well. Z-Freak pulled the creeps in there, so just going to pull that wave a little bit further back to their tower. As the next catapult wave comes out, it is going to be relatively close to that dire offlane.
Well, Prophet and Gyrocopter are leading farmers right now. Actually, all three cores of complexity are at the top of the net worth chart. I think for this game, Secret pretty okay to break even or fall behind slightly in the laning phase because they have such great team fight. They can make it up in the mid game
instead of kill bottom.
Yep, Moo initiated on. There's the stun. Cold Feet will connect, but Z-Freak pushing forward as Chessie now in the front lines. Puppey, the one taking a lot of damage. Who's actually going to go down first? It looks like it's going to be Chessie. Now Puppey trying to make it back to the tower, but he's getting body blocked by these creeps. He's going to cut through the trees, try to find a different path, but the Astral comes out. Z-Freak has the vision, and he will be able to finish him off. But now Z-Freak, he's going to get trapped in by creeps, and I'm not sure the Elder Titan's going to be able to easily make it out here. It's a 1-for-1, however, support for core, so Secret fairly happy with the exchange thus far. Z-Freak completely blocked in. Got to be frustrated right now, but Moo able to put a lot of damage onto Ace. This is such an awkward position to be in. Ace able to pull him back with the Reality Rift. No God. TP Exodus. And now they're going to get Moo.
He should have died. He should have been dead to the Pugnablast, but he Reality Rifted away from the AoE and survived.
And Moo, he's on the run, but Puppey finding vision in the tree line. Looks like he's going to get juked.
Puppey went the 200 IQ play.
Will make it back. Fissure going to be off the mark as well. So still good for Secret. They get the better out of that exchange, but not nothing for complexity.
Nicely done. YapzOr coming down there to try and make that play happen. You saw they initiated like the moment his TP was done.
Yeah.
Just trying to... And this is why the Earthshaker just works for them. They play it so well. I mean, YapzOr doesn't even feel like he's done much. He's 1-0-1, but he already has Arcane Boots at 7 minutes.
And as we talked about, Prophet leaving the mid lane, the opportunity cost is huge. You look at their experience, and now Prophet and mid one, they're exactly the same. Halfway through level 6, their recovery is real, and it's only an 8 last hit difference between these two heroes.
Yeah, and that's without them doing anything crazy like coming mid with a gank or something like that. And Chessie, yeah, he still has like a 1-wave advantage, but again, yeah, not nearly as bad as it was before.
Starts to level out. Puppey down bottom, going to throw some auto attacks into Z-Freak as Ace rotates over after the sleep. It's a great Astral, and now Z-Freak going to be in some trouble. He does get decrept. It buys him a little bit of time, but Ace still in hot pursuit. Now Ace, the one getting very low, does survive through it. Great stun from YapzOr. Now the Chaos Bolt on top of it. Chessie on his way in. He'll finish off Ace, but Moo will not be able to survive the onslaught as both mid laners rotate. Chessie with a Sprout does block in YapzOr, but he is in deep in enemy territory. Mid one going to try to cut off the other way. No points in silence, but does have a Spirit Siphon in one. And I think this Prophet is done for. Z-Freak on the way in. He's going to try to reset things, but mid one does not get clipped by the sleep. And one more Crypt Swarm will finish him off 6-2 as Secret regain the lead.
The last game is going to be a little bit chaotic, but yeah, we're rotating everywhere. And I think Moo going for the decrep on the ET. I think Z-Freak just wanted to dive the tower, honestly, if he went for the decrep onto the CK instead. But yeah, either way, still a very close game. Kill score doesn't really tell the full story. We're essentially even on the net worth, and again, we're just ignoring top.
Yep, FATA level 6 does channel that Dark Rift as he gets initiated on by the Gyrocopter. Easy escape, able to survive, and now just going to regen up and head back to lane.
Yeah, they're basically just sitting at the same net worth, honestly. There's like a mid 500 net worth gap.
Mid one in some trouble, but again, YapzOr there with the defensive fissure completely breaks it up. It'll keep his mid alive. He's going to have to run back to heal, but as you mentioned, this YapzOr Earthshaker, it just feels like he's everywhere. And yeah, Moo will get brought down. Ace getting credit for that kill, but Puppey, he found his level 6, used the Ice Blast.
Before the CK.
Yeah. I mean...
Oh, that's sick. That frees the tome up for YapzOr as well.
Complexity are doing a really good job farming through this trend. You look at the net worth, and still the Gyro and the Nature's Prophet are top of the charts, but it feels like Secret are the ones really in control. You know, when the fights break out, it is Secret that have the rotations, and they've just got the better heroes to deal with these early skirmishes. We'll see FATA again initiated on up top. He does have the raindrops. This time, no ultimate. Limp doing huge damage, but there are a lot of stick charges. And FATA actually not going to use the stick charges. He will go down mid-1, trying to find a counter kill here, but I think Limp's going to make it out. And now Chessie's the one that rotates up. They're going to turn on to mid-1, and just like that, it's Complexity that strike back and get a 2-0.
Yeah, and this is the big problem for Secret, because right now, that CK does not do much. He doesn't even have his armlet, and the drums are finished up on the Prophet. He's going to have his phase boots soon. Gyrocopter has his phase boots as well as a wand. He's ready to go. They're just going to start pushing into these towers right now, and what are you going to do up against the side of Complexity? Because Z-Freak's going to be standing there with the spirits, getting in behind these towers, ready to stomp. And you have a Shaker who does not do much early. This was like your early part of the draft. So when you look at what Complexity's lineup is able to do the whole time, that draft, they're crafting and thinking about what Earthshaker can do at this point in the game. And if the Firestorms aren't going to be there, if they can bring down this Underlord once more, they can quickly take your towers.
Yeah. Well, Armlet will certainly be a key item for the CK to come online and start joining some of these team fights. Still pretty far away, but now Ace getting a little more space in the bottom lane. Though it might not last for long. It seems Complexity are setting up a rotation. The Gyro has now moved to the bottom lane.
Kyle also has 6 on the Disruptor. He just got the Tome, and he'll just replant that ward while he's smoked up in the mid lane. So maybe hoping that mid 1 will approach here mid, but he just saw them smoke under that Observer.
That's a bummer. Prophet now spending some time in the jungle. So it does look like Complexity want to do some musical lanes, not only to pressure the CK, but as you were mentioning before, open up some experience.
Speaking of CK,
for these other cores.
We're coming in.
The rotations come in. Nature's Prophet going to start things off. Puppey with a close range Ice Blast going to be off the mark, but now the cold feet, the stun on top of that. Chessie may get stunned again. They will find the kill on Puppey, and now they want to chase down Ace. The homing missile slows him down. The rock barrage does so much damage. Moo with the ultimate and the glimpse back. This CK is done for. It's another 2 for Complexity. They do lose their Elder Titan this time, but now they'll just transition into a tier 1 tower push, and there is no way for Secret to stop it. So instead, they get aggressive up top and get a tower of their own.
Yeah, as you saw in that beautiful picture-in-picture observing there. High quality. Z-Freak just gets ran down under the tower up top. Nice mirrored movement from Secret. They saw what they were doing. They make the call. It's like, all right, just do the same thing top.
Yep.
Let's just trade it up here.
Just make it a wash. And all the while, mid 1 has the Exorcism on. Puppey's rotated, and Moo actually gets hit by the Ice Blast, but follow-up damage won't be there. Instead, it's Chessie with the Sprout, mid 1, trying to get a little bit aggressive here as YapzOr sets up the kill, and they turn on to Chessie, but now Static Storm Kinetic Field out of Kyle. Z-Freak getting very low, but pops some stick charges. Now Ace gets repelled. Complexity able to disengage and not lose any more than that Prophet, so they will go 1 for 1, core for core.
This early game Death Prophet is so hard to play without the Yule Scepter. It just changes how the hero is done. Like in these fights, just can't do anything. You know, you watch like EG used to do this with Fear quite a bit, where you're like this this mid-game kind of like skirmishing Death Prophet, and it's just not the same hero. It's like a totally different thing. But it doesn't have the silence, so that's not useful in all these engagements quite yet, and just keeps getting blown up every single time because it's just not that farm. But she's getting into it now. She now has the actual staff picked up.
Yeah, you definitely understand this build from the Death Prophet, the 4-0-4 with a point in the ultimate, but at the same time, some of those team fights, you wonder if a value point in the silence would have made a difference. We'll see CK take a lot of damage in the mid lane here. He gets glimpsed back into the kinetic field. Moo setting up the kill, securing a killing spree for himself, and of course bringing down that key target in the Chaos Knight, slowing down the timing on that armlet even more.
He almost has Veil too, which is just going to jack up a lot of this damage.
Oh, but now the turn the other way. Speak of the devil, it's Moo that gets popped quickly. If you get caught by an Ice Blast like that, the burst damage is pretty impressive.
Yeah, Life Drain doesn't work very well against that, actually.
No.
It turns out
Ice Blast is pretty effective against Pugna in that regard. Up top, tier 1 tower pressure from the Nature's Prophet. All those little treants getting it pretty low, but he will bring them back as to not feed any additional farm away. But still forces 2 TPs. Meanwhile, Puppey caught in the jungle. That's another freebie for Limp. This is part of the power of that Gyrocopter. So much magical burst damage in the early levels, and then, of course, he can transition into that physical damage dealer.
That is juicy.
Oh, yeah.
DD rune too. Oh, that's convenient at 14 minutes.
So, yeah, Limp at 6k net worth. We'll just take note of what he jumps to after clearing out this triple stack, I believe, and all these other neutrals nearby. It's probably going to be a nice 500 gold for him, at least.
Don't forget about your lovely, who got the stack here? Oh, Gyro actually has the neutral camp stack, and one of them is for Z-Freak. So he's getting some returning gold here
great. Yeah.
from his own stack.
So, yeah, Gyro in a very good place. And even this Prophet finding a lot of farm. We talked about Chessie being a momentum-based kind of player in this game. He's going to go right into the Orchid. It looks like he's playing this more right-click focused Nature's Prophet, which will feel a little bit more like a carry.
It's about 850 gold. So with the passive gold there, he gained, like, about 800 gold.
800. So yeah. Even more than I thought. Wow. BKB on the horizon because of that. He's about halfway through the Mithril Hammer, so we're going to have a BKB probably by 17 minutes or so.
Yeah, one thing that I noticed from a lot of the Chinese teams at Katowice, and as well as during the qualifiers for Dream League, is that early game BKBs have become like kind of the meta for China. I think that's why Bane is so important right now, especially for them, is that you want these supports that can actually do stuff through BKB, and a lot of them just aren't that common right now. Honestly, like, I guess you could say AA is to some extent, because you can still provide like the debuff and everything, but Secret, for example, they don't have anything against the BKB. So this Gyrocopter is going to have total free reign.
Yeah, I guess the Exorcism, kind of the one thing that goes through it, but, you know, not burst damage by any stretch.
And not going to KP them either, but
yeah, that's fair.
You watch a lot of the Chinese games and they have like 4 BKBs done by like 25 minutes or something stupid. You know what I mean? That's just like every core is buying it right away. KP went treads into a BKB on a core Elder Titan in one of our games. So it's certainly the play over there, but they also play a lot of 5-man Dota. They're into that kind of stuff.
It's definitely a different meta compared to what we see on the global stage. Mid lane, we'll see a Glyph come out to defend this tower as mid one deploys the Exorcism. Complexity with a lot of heroes nearby. It seems they do want to mount a defense. They'll pull back mid one into the Static Storm kinetic field, but do they actually have the damage to finish him off? They do, but now the other way. Moo getting pretty low. The Underlord catching him with a Firestorm. They'll go 1-for-1, but Puppey up top gets brought down by Chessie. And now on the other side of the fight, it's Ace trying to make it away. Looks like he'll make it to the high ground as YapzOr turns it with the Fissure. They bring Limp to the high ground with the Reality Rift, but they're not able to finish him off. Limp just going to fly away as FATA gets left behind in the mid. The homing missile will help make the exodus for the Gyrocopter. Z-Freak kind of gets left behind and in the mix gets brought down by a Firestorm. Underlord did have an Arcane Rune on for that fight, so FATA actually put out way more damage than you'd normally expect an Underlord to.
Yeah, it might be what caught him out there, but YapzOr as well. I mean, this is a Shaker without Blink, and he comes in and gets himself 1,400 damage as well.
Yeah.
And he's about to have that Blink now with the Tower Gold.
Yeah. Big plays from this Earthshaker as we would normally expect. I guess bittersweet for Secret that they weren't able to kill the Gyrocopter there. I think they had the right idea to isolate him with the Reality Rift, but you know, quick movement down to the south. Limp was able to just scurry away with the phase boots. He's pretty quick.
Yeah, he's closing in on level 15 as well. One of the more important things for Gyrocopter to get that +3 flat cannon attacks. Even with a BKB, you can still pump out a ton of damage because of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, was 50% increase. You normally get 6 attacks and it takes it up to 9, so.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely a key
that
talent.
applies for your farming too. It's just,
I also think
a hero.
This Orchid for Complexity is going to be huge, Trent. Mid lane, we could see another skirmish breakout, but this Prophet is very close. Having that silence
build
is just so key. I mean, if you can initiate on the Death Prophet, lock her down with that Orchid, she can't do a hell. Oh, she has the Yules. Okay, so she's fine now.
Yeah, she just got to finish.
Okay.
She didn't have that last fight, unfortunately.
I was going to say, if they get the Orchid before Yules, that is so devastating. But now Puppey, the one that gets initiated on, yeah, he gets off an Ice Blast, does connect with a couple heroes, but Limp able to finish him off and secure that kill. Secret trying to find some counter kills themselves. Yules Scepter onto Limp, but a Static Storm kinetic field, not enough from Kyle to save his carry. They'll go 1-for-1, and in the end, actually benefits Secret, trading a support for a core.
A little bit deep there from Complexity. They plant an aggressive ward, maybe just thinking they'd have a better chance of the fight, and that was without the big dunk coming in from YapzOr, so we're still 30 seconds away from the slam. But he should be able to chase down one here as they, mid one's TPing though.
Yeah, gonna catch Kyle. Looks like he will be blocked off by the Fissure, but no one else inbound. So a good stun from YapzOr, but unfortunately
hunting top and
not much follow up. Oh, I spoke too soon. Looks like Kyle might actually still get caught. Ace gonna catch him with the Reality Rift, and it will end up being a kill for Secret, all set up by YapzOr. So nicely done.
And CK, despite having a little bit of a battling lane and not doing too hot in terms of the net worth at the beginning, he's found himself some fights. He's 3-3-6. Part of 9 of these engagements, even with his 3 deaths, doesn't matter too much.
I'll tell you what though, Trent, this is one strikingly even game coming up on 20 minutes. The gold lead just a couple hundred for Secret. Complexity do have the leading farmers right now on their cores, but things sort of leveled out for Secret as their farm distribution is a little more equal.
You can see in the experience though, it's now swinging up to almost 2K for Secret, not only just because of the fights, but there's been way more 5-manning from Complexity.
Yeah, trying to make the most of their team fight. Now the Echo Saver comes out for the Chaos Knight on Ace. So a little more damage for him. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, though, there's that Orchid used on YapzOr, and it'll secure a kill to get things started. Now it's Prophet that gets killed the other way. Yeah, so a 1-for-1. I guess an okay debut of the Orchid, but really hoping for a clean kill there instead of, again, trading core for support.
Where do we go from here now as Complexity, though? You've taken out the 2 side lane towers. Easy to do with an Aegis Prophet.
Yep. Top lane. Oh, Kyle able to survive.
Yeah.
Don't know if that Crypt Swarm would have been enough. It would have been
Underlord's coming in, too. They're going to try and transition this into a tower push, and Kyle gets the nice glimpse, though.
Yeah, well, he's going to pay with his life, so how nice was it really?
Yeah, and FATA was not that far away, so we can actually just get back here pretty quick. Very important, FATA has surpassed 400 movement speed, so he now gallops everywhere.
And, oh, that is important.
That's that is what you need on Underlord to be truly strong. Moo taught me that.
They're also going to move into the Roche Pit with 2 heroes dead. Secret, seeing this as an opportunity, Underlord, one of the best heroes to deal with Roche because the HP burn of Firestorm does actually work on the big boy. One of the only spells in its category that is so effective in this situation. But
this was my concern for Complexity because they couldn't really force this. Now this could be good for them though because they're really good in this fight.
Are they going to be able to contest? It doesn't look like it. Roche falls. They snatch the Aegis. Oh no, they get Roche. The Aegis goes to Ace. He's going to go down pretty quickly. FATA and Puppey have already gone down. It's a great contest from Complexity, and now they should be able to bring down Ace. Chessie on the other side. Reality Rift. Ace actually gets pulled out of the Roche Pit. He'll try to run away, but slowed down by the Decrep. A fissure to break things up. YapzOr on the high ground trying to save his carry, but Glimpse will best him, and it is a disastrous Roche attempt from Secret. Complexity get there just in the nick of time. They get the bonus gold for Roche. They destroy the snatched Aegis from Secret, and then they get a huge team fight on top of it with a 1,800 net worth swing.
Yeah, see, this was my thing. I don't think Complexity were able to, they weren't really able to Roche. I guess they kind of could, but it would be slow, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you can tangle with the Treants, but they don't have the most damage to pump into it versus the way that Secret have it because of that Firestorm, as you mentioned. Side towers are easy to take with Prophet, but other than that, they didn't really have a lot of options to go with in this game. They needed pickoffs with the Orchid over and over. That's why they have such aggressive vision placed down right now. But by Secret going into the pit, they gave Complexity something to do. And then it's like, all right, sick. We just took some big fight. Now we feel even stronger. Now it's harder for Secret to play further apart from one another.
Now they're clearing out another big Ancient stack here. So Limp on the Gyro.
Oh, there's the replay too.
Super farmed, and here it is.
Yeah, it's just the call down, I think, with the Pugna Blast.
Beautiful stomp. I mean, Elder Titan is kind of the king of the Roche Pit in that regard, and that's what set that whole fight up to get the kill and then, you know, prevent Ace from just grabbing that Aegis right away. It was a nice Reality Rift to get out of the pit. A noble effort to try to escape, and still a nice stun from YapzOr, but too much from Complexity. The turning of the tides. We see the biggest gold lead yet this game, nearly just about 4,000 for Complexity as they smoke and hit the shrine on their side of the map. Though. Yeah, Secret also smoking at the same time.
The wave's like mid, the bottom wave's pushing a little bit, but they're going to try and just take over this whole bottom part of the map. Right now, they don't have the most vision. They've lost that Observer. Very good sentries from Secret. Looks like they've kind of studied maybe some of these more aggressive patterns here. It took a lot of investment. They put down a lot up top, but they did catch those wards from Complexity.
Yeah, both sides not going to find much with these smokes. Complexity coming around the backside. Of course, there is no mid-tier 1 for Secret. So there is a little bit of room for Complexity to maybe find the initiation.
Those were probably supposed to be courier wards too, actually, now I think about it.
There's a double damage and a BKB on this gyrocopter.
Right now, though. They see the Elder Titan.
And the Echo Slam to start things off. YapzOr finds the kill on 2. And now the follow-up. Maybe Complexity can find a counter kill. The BKB on Limp will help. Mid 1 is pretty low. Do Complexity have the resources to turn this, Trent? They'll bring down Moo. It's 3 down, and it looks like the Death Prophet's just going to walk away. BKB from Chessie also debuted here, but it's just not enough. Nice. They will get 1 kill out of it, but it's still a lost team fight. Both their BKBs using that 10-second charge. FATA trying to pursue up to the high ground, but Chessie with a nice sprout will stop him dead in his tracks.
They want to keep going. There's still control left from the CK, but can't slow him down quite in time. I don't know, Puppey's speeding up there.
I don't think they'll get it.
Skating along on those
they're going to let him get away.
vortexes,
But I mean, again, Trent, YapzOr.
Dude, that ward, that was just perfect, right? Like, FATA walks in, they're sitting on the ward, he gives them the root right into the slam. Could not have been set up easier for Secret
Beautifully
there.
done.
So they, that maybe like a overly defensive wards in a lot of games. Like, how often do they just have an observer like right there as the Radiant side, you know? But they kind of understand what Complexity need to do. That's all about that next level of Dota. It's not about like, what do we need to do to win? You have to think about, okay, what does my opponent need to do?
Yeah.
What are they thinking they want to do? They want to play aggressive and get Orchid kills and transition to the towers. So we're like pre-warding to fight up against that right now.
Yeah. I am a little worried about this farm discrepancy. You know, you look at Secret, and yeah, their farm is okay, but the Chaos Knight is just kind of middle of the pack. You know, he's working on his BKB, he's hanging in there, but seems like the Gyrocopter is just farming so much better.
Right.
You know, Complexity have done a really good job maintaining these stacks and making sure Limp just has everything he needs to shine.
But who does more with the same amount of gold? I mean,
definitely the Chaos Knight,
right.
I think.
So, I mean, if his CK gets on top of this Gyro, he is dead.
Yeah.
He will just explode. And Earthshaker is one of the best heroes up against those earlier BKBs simply because if he jumps you before you get it off, then you invested in a BKB that you then didn't use in that fight, and you're probably not that tanky because you didn't buy a lot of stats at this point.
Now, I will say the item build from FATA makes a lot of sense here. The Yules and the Pipe, they're great, but going right into the Crimson Guard, this is an amazing game for Crimson. Very good against the Gyrocopter, also incredible against this kind of core Nature's Prophet that we're seeing.
Yep. One of the heavier right-clicking off lanes. But yeah, as you said, mostly the Gyrocopter is just where we start to see this item quite a bit more.
Yeah.
And it helps for your buildings too, right? Certainly doesn't hurt being able to
that's a
pump
fair
them
point. Prophet looks like Silver Edge going to be coming up next for him, or at least a Shadow Blade to start. So some mobility tools, let him get in the back line.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth going Silver Edge this game.
Come on, dude, you got to break that atrophy aura.
No, it's all about the Chaos Straight, clearly. But yeah, so
not the ideal Silver Edge game.
Shadow Blade for sure, right? He's just going to work his way split pushing across the map.
Yeah, Moo also working on his BKB. Not a big surprise there, as we've talked about, but Magic Immunity becoming a key piece of this match for both teams.
Yeah, this is the Barracks BKBs. They don't even want to like take fights, I don't think, unless it's a really good fight with like the 9-second or whatever left. Or I guess they're now down to 8 on Limp and 9 on Chessie. But these are, we want to take your buildings.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that. Both teams right now looking to farm up that next round of core items. So I think really both sides are happy to just farm relatively evenly. Secret have actually closed the gold gap just a little bit over the last few minutes. Complexity more grouped up, as you've mentioned. There's just been a lot more kind of 5-man from them, and that is continuing right here as they invade the enemy jungle and limit space on the map for Secret to farm. The smoke will get broken. It's actually another double damage on this Gyrocopter, so that's part of the reason why Complexity wants to fight so badly right now, but seems Secret will not give them that opening.
YapzOr is pinging Kyle. He knows he's sitting in those trees because the Observer ward mid. He really wants to jump Kyle.
Pings coming out from both sides. And they're going to go right in on the Kyle. The Ice Blast does connect, and he's just going to get ticked down with a Firestorm. But now Gyrocopter goes in hard. He brings down YapzOr, brings down Puppey. He's going to dive this tower. They get the stun onto Ace, and Limp is just going in right now. The Crimson Guard has come out, and it is going to cost Limp his life. They also lose Z-Freak in the back line. A really chaotic fight from Complexity that started so well, and now it ends up being a 3-for-3. Moo is going to try to TP home, but it won't be there as the Yule Scepter interrupts him. Now this will be another kill for Secret, so they do find the advantage in this team fight. Yeah, that
Chaos Knight doesn't need gold, dude. You see how much damage this guy puts out? Easy. Look at 1,000 damage in like 2 seconds on that Gyrocopter. Just got completely blown up.
Yeah.
As well onto the Pugna. So easy game.
Okay. Oh, and we'll get to see the replay here as it did happen pretty fast.
Focusing Kyle's so important. Taking him out right at the start of the fight. Like, he's so much of that follow-up that you want from the other Titan.
Look at Limp. He's literally just pushing back 3 heroes, though. He kills 2 of them. FATA comes.
He's full HP right now.
And now they realize, well, Ace has a reality rift.
1,300 damage.
Oh my.
Yeah. Whoops.
Another one of these chaotic fights, but again, it is Secret that are edging their way back into a lead, or at least close to it. The Crimson Guard also came out at kind of the perfect time, did mitigate a little bit of the damage in that fight.
This feels like one of those tick-tock kind of games.
But you think complexity are on the timer?
Oh, I think so. I mean, we said in the draft, AA's Earthshaker. I'm happy to go late. Let's go. You know, you guys don't want to push. We don't want to push. Yeah, we'll see in like 40 minutes when my supports destroy yours. Yeah,
Moo now picks up his BKB on the Pugna. So they've got magic immunity on all 3 of the cores, with S and Y queued up next for the gyrocopter. But pretty soon here, Complexity needs to find some objectives with these BKBs, and they just haven't really been able to take a clean team fight.
This would be a sick kill, though.
These break-evens are so much better for Secret, and I think Ace is 100% dead here. There is nowhere to TP
what about
to.
BKB?
Well, even if he BKBs, there's nobody nearby, just the BKB TP. Oh, it's so close. Okay.
Easy.
Trent, you were right.
I know,
you called it.
I thought they couldn't chain stun, I guess? I guess they don't have any, right? I was kind of thinking, like, well, there's 5 heroes. Surely they don't have any stuns. They have missile.
Yeah.
and I guess
nothing to deal with BKB, so okay. Yeah.
That's why he's playing so far.
But I mean, when you frame it like that,
BKB.
Yeah.
So
it's, I don't know if we call it a victory for Complexity, but they still get something out of it.
Not in the part of the map where you want to take something, though.
Yeah, now a smoke from Secret. Also, Aetherlens has been picked up by the Earthshaker. I think Secret are very happy just to keep farming right now. I think they're feeling that timer as well. You get this sense from Secret that they're just playing very cool, calm, and collected, rather defensive.
Puppey's level 12, too. He finds a good Ice Blast. Look at Clump there. Oh.
Yeah. Not taking undue risk. Puppey will get scouted out by Limp, but Limp
leave me alone.
thinks he might have some reinforcements nearby and does not want to get caught out. Instead, it's Kyle that gets caught. Fissure and then the follow-up hit of Malice. It looks like Disruptor will be the first casualty in this fight. However, they do lose YapzOr. It's a 1-for-1. FATA still in the front lines. Now the BKB popped by Limp as well as Chessie. Mid one charging up to the high ground. Complexity do not have the reinforcements to hold this fight. Z-Freak going to get brought down next, and this Exorcism is still flying.
God, that bomb from Puppey.
And Moon BKB will now expire. He's completely isolated. It's a 1-for-3. Secret finding an easy team fight over Complexity.
Puppey even sniped Limp up top. It's not quite close enough, though, but yeah, they're pressuring. They're playing aggressive. They're trying to find those picks, but they can't get them. And then every little vision they get thrown down is just instantly taken away.
And when you look at that damage, it's becoming the Chaos Knight show. He did 4,000 damage in that team fight, twice as much as the next highest on his team. With the BKB and Armlet ready to go, he is an absolute monster. Now has the Blink Dagger for even more catch. Secret going into the Roche pit. Call down from the Gyrocopter. Trying to break things up, but not going to be able to do too much. Kyle now going to get caught. Yule's Scepter from FATA. Actually going to mitigate some of that Ice Blast damage, but it does not matter. Kyle going to fall regardless. Roche goes down. Aegis goes the way of Ace on CK. And Secret are starting to take control.
Yep, that's going to be Cheese as well for mid one, so very handy on Death Prophet. And would you say then some of these fights, like, I don't know if you noticed, we talked a lot about Gyro and CK, but there's actually a hero above them on the net worth chart. Although you haven't really seen him much in these engagements, because it's rough as a Prophet. Like, this guy is 6K almost ahead. He's like, he's running like
he's
a 4K
a full Assault Kuros now.
Like ahead of the Nature's or rather the CK at this point. And it's just like, what does he do in the fights? Like, he just stands there and he right clicks. You know, he is an Orchid, sure, but it just doesn't feel that great.
Based on this build that he went for, I'm a little surprised not to see a Mjolnir come out. You know, you're right clicking so much, you get that extra magic damage. It's okay against illusions. There is just a lot of spread damage from Secret, so that Mjolnir buff does definitely have a lot of value.
I think he's just trying to keep his allies alive, because he's playing this 5-man that he sees this AC as being like, okay, look, I can mitigate a lot of the damage from the DP and the CK. And
it does buff up his damage in Gyros. I definitely think the AC has a lot of merit here, but was just expecting the Mjolnir.
Wow, Limp has bought the Maelstrom as well as a Blade of Alacrity. He's actually going for a late Aghanims. I don't think I've seen an Aghanims this late, personally.
Interesting.
But he sees where the game be going.
Yep, and Z-Freak, he's going to get caught this time. Looks like Kyle also going to be caught out. So both supports of Complexity dying simultaneously. A few more freebies going the way of Secret. Do you think this Aghanims is the right call, though, coming out of Limp on the Gyro?
I mean, if the game goes another 45 minutes, sure.
45 minutes might be optimistic. He's going to get caught here with FATA's Yule's Scepter. He does have the BKB. We're going to try not to use it. YapzOr with the Fissure doesn't block him out, but they've got the crowd controls and the stuns to finish him off before the BKB can come.
Let me tell you, if he had Aghanims right there, it would have been attacking that whole time. That's a handy thing. He's being chain stunned like crazy. But no, more importantly, I think it's just like he needs that HP. It's a lot of damage. It's a lot of magic damage.
Yeah.
It is going to be helpful. And seriously, though, the right clicks during the stuns do kind of help. He's trying to clear out illusions of a CK. I don't know if he's going to get it at a time where it matters in this game.
That's exactly my thought. I think the Aghanims is never a bad idea on Gyro in theory, but the build-up is something to be concerned about.
Dude,
now the high ground begins. Ace goes in onto Kyle.
He makes him waste Static Sword back there.
Yeah, well, okay, he's going to throw away the Aegis, but he's coming back to life. And meanwhile, that tier 3 tower is taking a lot of damage. The Glyph has already been used. Ace doesn't have an ultimate, but they don't need it. The Exorcism has done a lot of the work.
Chessie,
and now they jump in.
He's doing his thing.
Yep, they'll catch the Pugna. Pugna buys back immediately. I mean, Chessie with the right idea down in the bottom lane. He's going to get this tier 3 probably.
Yeah, he got it. The rat has come in.
That does level things out a little bit.
Ace cancels his TP. He wants to go back in. He's sneaking in the trees.
Oh, in the dire base, Ace, he jumps in, drops the stun on Moo. This is going to be a dieback if he falls here, and he does. The BKB also used. Now Z-Freak caught by the Ice Blast. They just need a little bit more damage. Ace wants this. He has the Reality Rift.
Dude,
he'll catch him, and he'll bring him down. Now mid one, maybe in some trouble as Lit pops his BKB. A buyback used by the Elder Titan as well. Complexity, you know how important it is to hold here.
Oh,
Ace does not survive. Almost brings down Kyle, but it will cost him mid one. He's going to pop the cheese. He's going to reset and try to continue on in this fight. Complexity low on resources, a lot of low HP heroes, but Secret kind of low on damage right now with that CK dead. I think Secret might be ready to disengage. The Pit of Malice comes, and FATA will just start to retreat. Puppey does have a homing missile chasing him down, and Chessie is hanging out in the tree line. They see him, and now mid one turns the other way. It's Limp that's getting really low. The Ice Blast comes, but it's not even needed as the Gyrocopter dies, dead for 80 seconds. Chessie now getting low. Mid one still alive. Oh no, Complexity are losing so much here, and Secret are gaining so much to boot. On the backside, mid one will fall as Kyle drops a nice kinetic field. Secret are finally starting to get cleaned up. Now the Orchid comes out onto Underlord.
YapzOr's coming for the big save.
This Underlord is so beefy, though. He's got a full Radiance here, Trent. He's not an easy hero to bring down. YapzOr the stun on Kyle. That'll bring him down on the side. And now it's a 2-on-2. FATA and YapzOr versus Z-Freak and Chessie as the Radiance just continues to burn them down. Z-Freak on the run. He's got another Echo Stomp, but is it going to be enough? It's going to be so close, and he will make it away. Or will he?
He got a bounty rune out of it.
So, a ridiculously chaotic fight there, Trent. But if we can recap, both teams get a tier 3 tower.
Yep.
The main difference is that Complexity used 3 buybacks to make that happen. Oof. So, a lot of damage done by the Nature's Prophet there, of 8,200. But, yeah, 3 buybacks to trade evenly with objectives obviously gives Secret a huge advantage.
Yeah, if it weren't for the buyback, I mean, honestly, I'm still surprised Complexity got that much out of it, right? Like, considering the situation of that marching Secret and how scary they look. They had Aegis, they had Cheese, and you got a tier 3 and they got a tier 3. I mean, that's pretty good. Definitely costlier than you would like, but it has opened an opportunity, right?
That might be the understatement of the day so far. Costlier than they'd like. Yeah, 3 buybacks at 30 minutes is pretty far from ideal, my friend.
Hey, those shrines, though, got to remember, the shrines are free. For the dire side. I just sent some treants in there. They're going to die. What are you going to do? You can't stop that.
Yeah, that's true. They will get a little bit of income from the shrines. That is true. A very small positive against a slew of negatives here, but I like that you're looking for answers. You know, that old F5, looking at the inventories, though, Secret are getting some huge items on the way. Octarine Core completed for Death Prophet, and they have a gem, so now Vision might become an issue for Complexity. We mentioned that Radiance, but CK very close to a Heart of Tarrasque, and that's when this hero starts to feel just unkillable.
That's the Siege engine right there. Back away for 2 seconds, full HP again.
Yep.
YapzOr, he wants to get involved. He just grabbed some bots.
Yep. And unfortunately for Complexity, really not much item progression since we last checked in because so much of that gold went to buybacks.
Now is he just going to mirror the Prophet? He's been lurking, trying to find like a kill opportunity. It's really hard though, like he needs a +1 because of the BKB on the Nature's Prophet, so. Yeah.
And there's the Heart. Prophet going for a Nullifier. That's interesting.
That's a good choice. If he can stop that Yule Scepter from the DP, and like the Sheep's Guard and everything during the Stack Storm, might be a way to actually kill her, since she doesn't have the BKB.
That's true. Mute very effective against the DP. FATA pretty far forward down bottom. Also has a halberd finished up. Needs a turn with the courier, but the disarm, of course, always good to have against Gyrocopter.
Especially the Prophet. Honestly, like his only thing is he right-clicks really hard.
That's true. Ace gonna find another catch. It's Z-Freak that gets caught in the trees, and on the other side, Pugna with the Yules will survive for now. But FATA just so beefy. The Static Storm kinetic field doesn't even really slow him down that much. BKB popped by Chessie. They find that kill, but now the CK is here. Limp with his BKB on. He's putting out as much damage as he can. Magic immunity on both sides as Ace wants the reality rift, but gets fogged. Down south, they're chasing Chessie into the tree line. YapzOr with the Force Staff, able to close the gap, takes the Orchid, and sets it up for Puppey to connect with the Ice Blast.
Another gap. They might have closed the game here. He is done.
It's another chaotic
He's
fight.
gone
It's
for 2 minutes.
1 for 3, and yeah, out of the game. No buybacks available on the 3 dead heroes for Complexity. They do have a glyph, but this bottom lane probably going to turn to rubble.
I mean, this is a Gyro with no BKB for 35 seconds. Yeah, like, there's no way.
4-second stun onto Moo. This poor Pugna now silenced immediately after the stun. He gets brought down. Reality Rift. They're going to catch Limp. He does have a buyback, but to what end here, Trent?
Yeah, they don't have tier 2s. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, there are tier 2s standing in the other lanes. So Secret not going to be able to get more out of this. They will be able to push in mid, most likely, and get this tier 2, but Complexity might actually catch a break, and despite back-to-back deaths there, they won't lose more than a single lane.
Bless you, Nature's Prophet, and your annoying split push, making it so that we still have all of our towers when we're down 20k.
Yeah, it's still an absolutely insane lead, and Roche will be coming up pretty soon. Oh, a minute 30. Okay, so still a little while, but we may see Secret stay a little more defensive until Roche comes out, and then just secure that next Roshan, and it becomes a pretty easy push. And you'll get that refresher shard, so you have things like double exorcism, double phantasm. Pretty scary.
Oh, I hope we get to see that. I don't know if we will. I feel like the game's gonna be over by then. But I'd like to see the double CK plays.
Yeah, it's devastating to say the least.
You know what? Let's just give it a Puppey, I think. Oh, Ace is in. He's doing that thing again.
Yep, diving into tier 4s would be that thing. He gets a 4-second stun, a follow-up fissure, and Z-Freak actually does survive through it.
Just want a glimpse there from Kyle, yeah. The save plays.
Still, the tier 2 mid falls. And Secret now 1 step closer. Looks like they ping out the shrine. They still have another tier 2 to take out. I think if you're Secret right now, you clear out the enemy jungle, you get this shrine, you drop some wards down.
Chessie's angry. He's saying, hey, wait a second. I forgot I could take these shrines. Now that you're taking my shrine, I'm going to take your shrine.
Yeah, little Treant's going to start ticking it down. Might be able to find a kill onto YapzOr, but no, he still gets the blink off despite the Orchid coming out. Well played.
No damage in time. And that means he can get to his shrine in time.
So Limp has completed the Aghanim's on the Gyrocopter. Is this a game changer, Trent? Is this enough for Complexity to try to hold this and to make a turn?
That's a negative. But it is the starting to, you know, it's the building block of like, if there's a chance.
I mean, I always think of the lifesteal as being one of the key pieces of the Aghanims. Of course, the Maelstrom is big, but you know, that little side gunner will lifesteal for you while you're stunned up.
If you have lifesteal.
If you have lifesteal, yes.
Which he doesn't.
Of course.
So that could be an issue. But you're right.
And
he gets like a
no
Vlads,
or something, right? But yeah, no Vlads. Okay.
Yeah, it's a rough one.
It's a sticky wicket. Roche has respawned, though. It's been scouted out by both sides, I believe. Still that tier 2 standing in the top lane. A little bit of buffer for Complexity. Is there a key item or something that Secret is waiting for until they force the issue here? Maybe just feeling like they have such a big lead that they can be the patient ones in this scenario.
Yeah, I think they're just gonna like force Complexity into weird spots by like forcing this Roche fight. Like right now, they are way outside their base. This is not a comfortable position for you to fight as Complexity, so they're like trying to just secure this high ground, hold on to it. But is this really where we want to take an engagement?
Dire Courier gonna fly overhead, and that'll be some free gold for YapzOr. No cargo, but Secret's still happy to find a pick off there. The smoke has kind of been revealed as FATA charges in the front line.
Hello.
Forces the early BKB from Limp before the fight even really starts.
He just runs.
Can't quite commit to FATA. He gets glimpsed back, but he's got the Yules. Fissure on 4 heroes. Now BKB popped by Moo. This is Secret's fight. They destroy Limp. Now the stun onto Kyle. He's going to get caught by the Ice Blast. They still want to kill FATA, but this Underlord is just too beefy. YapzOr with a huge ultimate completely breaks up the team fight, and it's a 1 for 4 Oh my, the ultra kill for Ace. Picture perfect for Secret as they walk into the Roche pit. Unbelievable.
That Echo Slam, my god, the health was getting chunked down. It's hard to really see any of the other damage though when CK did 60,
and that's it. GG.
7,000 damage actually, so yeah.
I mean, honestly, I don't think it's too soon for Complexity to call it there. They were up against the wall. They had a super risky position in that last fight, but when you're that far behind, you got to do something risky. You know how important the third Roche is.
Yeah, I will say in terms of our drafts though, we did not really get risky, did we? It was just some standard